Hey everyone, John here. So in today's video, I'll be going over the workflow that I'll be using to build a market summarizer and then also a equity research report. So I'm just going to do a quick summary of what I'm doing. I've been explaining it, but I don't think I did it visually yet. So um, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But yeah, so right now, what I've been working on for the last couple days is the front end. So front end is johnperalta.com. So if you go to my website johnperalta.com, this is what's called the front end. So it's basically just like what you see. This is a finance channel, so if you're a tech guy watching this, hopefully this is a good review. But yeah, so I'm setting up the front end, and you could see that's pretty much like how you communicate or like how you see all my reports. Um, but yeah, so all of this is coming from a backend database, and that's using Firebase. So it's where articles are held. So right now I have articles in Markdown format. Eventually, I'm going to also have XLSX files. So XLSX files are just like normal Excel files that could have multiple tabs, and you could see like the formulas. You could see the what do you call it? The financial model, right? Um, Financial models in XLSX format, right? It also handles the user authentication, and it handles lightweight functions. So within the Firebase, um, I hold like some functions that have very low amount of dependencies. It would just be like pretty light. Um, Within cloud functions though, I that's where I hold some of my web scrapers. So my web scrapers have like Playwright installed. So like you kind of have to put them in a Docker container and stuff like that. I'll probably just like learn about Docker on like a video and then use that to kind of explain how Docker works, right? Because the Docker is important for just making sure your code runs on the cloud. It basically just like sets up the environment for your code to run in. But yeah, so right now, as I alluded to in my last video or the video this morning, I don't know when I dropped the video, last night or today. I don't even know. But the way that it works is I have a Google Cloud Scheduler. So Google Cloud Scheduler is similar to like a cron job where you say, okay, at this time or every 8 hours, run this job. That this cloud scheduler sends a message to something called a pub subtopic, so a publisher and subscriber topic, and it basically is a publisher, right? So it sends a message here. A cloud function, which is a subscriber to this topic, receives like monitors that topic, and when it gets a message or there's a new message in this topic, the cloud function runs, and that cloud function would run a web scraper, run like a bunch of different, like it could run a web scraper, it could do whatever you want, right? Once that cloud function is done running, it pre-processes the financial data and stores it in a Firebase storage, right? So that's one part of it. The next part of it is once all that pre-processed data is in Fire storage, that's pretty much like the end of this, right? The second piece, so that kind of happens every day, every other day. Depends on like the script that I run. Some scripts don't need to be run every day. So this Google Cloud Scheduler is pretty much how I generate the article. So the Google Cloud Scheduler, same thing. It would send a message to a pub subtopic. Let me just put a thingy there. I don't know where the heck that arrow went, but it would send a message, trigger a cloud function. So usually the way what I have in my cloud function is it's just like a LLM wrapper function. And within that LLM wrapper, I give the AI like a couple tools. So I give it like search, I could give it any tool I want, really. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know that like a couple months back, I was like experimenting with like tool bindings and stuff like that. But that's what the cloud functions are. So it's just like a function call, and within it is like a LLM with the tool binding. It has access to time. It has access to search. It has access to like any tools I want. Like it could even have like a web scraper. But honestly, I don't like it. I don't like it. I think like maybe like agentic AI or just like the way that I use it is just not that good yet. But yeah, so that cloud function would output a bunch of different headlines. So think about an article on a newspaper, right? So you have the headline and then the main article. So the way that I'm doing it is this specific um, prompt looks at looks at like four different markets. So it looks at Europe, Australia, and the Far East. It looks at emerging markets, and then it looks at US and then Canada, right? So if you're following my 1K to 10K challenge portfolio, you'll know that I have only four holdings right now. And those four holdings, I want to have news automatically sent to me. So I kind of know what's going on with those investments, right? And then that way I don't have to like ask ChatGPT, hey, what's going on with these four investments? It'll like every other day or every like 3-4 days, I should just get something, and then it tells me like what went on for the last couple of days, right? I think this one I might just do it daily. I don't know. I kind of like knowing what's going on with my portfolio every morning. But yeah, so that goes into the headline builder. The headline builder has access to the internet via a Google search tool. So I give it like a tool, and then it like builds the headlines. So the headline builder, what it outputs is it outputs JSON, like a JSON object, right? And that JSON object is sent to the article builder. So the article builder could has access to my financial fire, like my process financials, and it also has access to the internet. So the way that I do it is I use like a multi-shot. Like I think this is gonna be cool. Like when people see it, it's like it's a multi-shot prompt that it goes to the internet, builds a skeleton of the what do you call it? The skeleton of the report. So it's the most up to date. And when it does look up stuff on the internet, I know that it doesn't always pull from the same data sources. It always like it comes up with like random stuff, that type of thing. So to remove that bias from the internet, I use the pre-processed financials. So like the first prompt is just like build the skeleton, and then that skeleton gets fed again back into the model. And with retrieval augmented generation, I could like make sure the prompt has the financial data that I want, which is like hand web scraped by me. And then that is the final report. And then that final report gets sent into the Firebase, right? And then once it's in the Firebase, it gets hosted in the front end automatically, right? So that's kind of the workflow. Um, but yeah, so you could see like a sample of the equity research report, right? Um, but yeah, that's kind of how I'm doing it. So like for example, like total revenues, um, what do you call it? Like how much the stock was worth at a specific time, like what analysts say it's worth, stuff like that. That's all kind of that's pretty clean processed data, right? It's not just like from any random source. But yeah, that's kind of the format of the report, right? Yeah, I think the next thing that people want to see. Wait, you can't. There's no command. You can't make this smaller. Okay, but yeah, I think the next thing that would be cool to see is like once all of these articles are built, right? Um, I can add another LLM. So let's say for example in here, I have like another LLM somewhere, I don't know, like somewhere here, right? In this section here. And then that this LLM would just like read all the reports, summarize them, and then be like, hey, this is what you should be doing, right? That's kind of like future state, but just a little brief example of like a simplified version of how the reports are actually made. But yeah, I will definitely be showing the scripts. People are asking me, John, I want to see the scripts. The problem is the scripts have API keys within the code itself. So what I have to do is I have to learn Google Secrets Manager, and when I have Google Secrets Manager, I will start showing the code, right? But yeah, hopefully this all made sense. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, bye.